MiniGP 110 up next, here's Jake.
Sebastian Gazlowski on pole position, only managed to do that by 0.03 of a second in qualifying. Max Robinson, Mason Federick, Caden Herring, Leo Soliu and Leon Simpson rounding out the top 6 in one of the most competitive classes this weekend. Next up it's Mason Hams, then Cian Daly, Jasper O'Neill-White, Austin Wilton, Ella Mosgrove bookends the field. Yesterday's race saw Gazlowski take the victory by 4.6 seconds to Max Robinson, with Mason Federick a full 18 seconds further back. Let's see if today is going to be any better. Certainly for Gazlowski, it's a perfect start. Works his way through the first hairpin, no trouble at all. On the run to the reverse valley, as it were, through the left hairpin, and then along that international circuit run. It is really exciting when we get to see the full circuit, and here comes my favourite section of the Three Sisters circuit. Left, right, left, and Gazlowski's got an amazing start already. Max Robinson struggling to hold on to second position in front of a feisty Caden Herring. Herring looking really strong early doors.
Gazlowski may be the race leader, there he is, but it's Max Robinson that actually leads the championship. There is Max Robinson in, well, I was going to say the second place. It was Federick when they went through the line last time. It's Robinson back in the second now. That's Gazlowski going over the hill. First part is Penrith, that's Coward Summit, where the hill just peaks, and the riders go over that.
I thought for a moment there that Caden Herring was going to go right round the outside of Max Robinson on the outside of Luna Bend and pick up the most audacious overtake for second position. As it stands, it is Gazlowski who leads the way. Max Robinson, the man from County Antrim, is in second position, but he is going to have a lot of pressure from that man right in behind him, Caden Herring. And Mason Hams is doing a fair job in this one. What's happened to Mason Federick? Oh, big launch up on the inside, as it's a big mistake for Max Robinson. So a lot of places lost, but back on the inside comes Caden Herring. Herring has shot his way into second position. So they absolutely shuffled the deck on the way through. It was second, third and fourth of them, and they have basically thrown the cards up in the air, picked them up in any order they can.
That was a great move by Mason Hams, taking advantage of what looked like a mistake by Max Robinson, and then Caden Herring, I think it looks like Hams there went really narrow, possibly in the wrong gear, and that allowed Caden Herring back up the inside, and there it is, goes through the line in second place, fastest lap to Gazlowski up front.
Yeah, he just wasn't expecting to have to make an overtake there on Max Robinson, I guess, so he just pulled the bike a little bit too far across, and as a result, Mason Hams got the second, but then Caden Herring thought, right, he's a bit sluggish, I'll get him, no worries. So Mason Federick, by the way, is in fifth position as a result. Robinson on Hams, here he goes, as I think about it, into the first corner, but he's not quite close enough. Caden Herring, by the way, was half a second quicker than Hams on the last lap, 1.7 quicker than Robinson because he was making the mistake. The Herrings just checked out and disappeared. The only man really to hold a candle to Gazlowski. There is Gazlowski in the lead. That's how big an impression he's made on this race weekend so far here at Three Sisters.
Welcome back to Three Sisters. You're looking at the battle for third. That's Max Robinson, the championship leader, up the inside of Mason Hams. Hams in that distinctive red suit with the white chevron on the back. But it's interesting today. You talked about the dominance earlier, Jake, of Sebastian Gazlowski. He's certainly dominating this race, but it's Max Robinson that is dominating the championship. Further round, that is Caden Herring is second, Max Robinson coming towards us in third, but leading the championship. As I said before, this is the battle for fourth.
Mason Federick diving for his run on the inside of Hams. He almost manages to go for it. It's such a pinch point, that hairpin. You can't afford to get too tight up the inside if you're not level. As long as you've got enough of the bike alongside your challenger, it's essentially when you're parallel to the handlebars, that's when you know you've got enough of a gap to really hammer home the issue. And Mason Hams was quite clear there. No chance that Federick's going to get an easy overtake. Leo Soliu's looking pretty hungry as well in P6 right behind them. And watch out for Leon Simpson. He knows that if Leon is in the right place at the right time, he could pick up maybe 1 or 2 positions here. You never know. It's Three Sisters. It throws up a curveball sometimes. Might even be able to get all 3.
Caden Herring, by the way, has just set the fastest lap as he went through this line here. This is the start line. Going up the inside is Federick.
Lovely.
And Federick takes the spot off Mason Hams. And just like that, Mason Federick now up to fourth place, I beg your pardon.
Yeah, very nicely done there by Federick. That'll do. And it's up to 4th position. Austin Wilton, by the way, is at the tail end of the field. He's going to be the first one really to be lapped. He's obviously, again, like in all of the other junior classes, you are learning on the job. This is not like any other form of sport where all the hard work, if you're in the under 15s team or whatever, you do all your training behind closed doors. In motorsport, in motorbikes, you are under scrutiny at the age of 8. You are literally under the gaze of the world spotlight. It is such a tough business being a racer these days.
And the reason being, no club racing in British mini bikes. So there's no club championships. You have to learn your trade at these national British championships. You can't enter a club championship, do that for a year, and then decide to move up to the nationals. It's nationals or nothing, basically, in British mini bikes racing.
Yeah, it really is tough to be a motorcycle rider in Great Britain at this level. No wonder it's been such a long time since we've had a Grand Prix world champion from Great Britain. Haven't had to wait quite as long for a Superbike world champion, of course. Good old Johnny Ray. But it's been an interesting one for Sebastian Gosławski in front, taking back the fastest lap of the race, and yet more pressure from Mason Hams as Leo Soliu gets close to him. And that's going to be a little bit of a light work on the back marker there, getting through. Austin Wilton, not too big an issue for Mason Frederick. There goes Hams on the left side of him. Well done to Austin Wilton. He was very aware there of what the situation was. Let them come through. So now Leo Soliu really starting to ramp up the attack here on Mason Hams. Through the left, sweeping his way through to the right. Just being a little bit unedged there. It looks as though he was a little bit unsettled on the way in. Manages to catch it back. Then we've got Leon Simpson being caught by Cian Daly. So Daly seems to have picked up a little bit more, and it's getting pretty spicy out there. But Gosławski still has a decent lead to Caden Herring with Robinson, then Frederick. Hams and Soliu are still battling away for 5th position. Is Soliu going to get the run here on the way to Coward Summit? He does, and it's very nicely handled indeed as Leo Soliu moves up into 5th position on the run to Coward Summit.
Well, the move by Leo Soliu up to 5th would be the last of the significant action. It would be this man that would take the win. Sebastian Gosławski, comfortable in the end, got an early lead and was never headed, setting the fastest lap in the process. By the time he got to the checkered flag, he was some 10 seconds clear of the field. The result looked like this officially. Gosławski from Caden Herring in 2nd, then Max Robinson rounded out the podium positions. Mason Frederick was 4th from Leo Soliu. We saw him make that move down the end of Conrod Straight to go 5th. And it was Mason Hams, Leon Simpson, Cian Daly, Jasper O'Neill-White and Ella Mosgrove.